Hey, everybody, welcome to Breakfast All Day. Christy, Alonso, both of us have lived in Texas at one point in our lives.
For a long time, and at the same time, briefly. Did we not overlap briefly?
We might have.
In 1997?
That's true, we did.
Okay.
And yet.
And yet.
Never met until we got here.
It's a big, sprawling place, Dallas.
This is true. But anyway, we are both familiar with the writings of one Molly Ivins, who is a really terrific political commentator, and the subject of the new documentary, Raise Hell, The Life and Times of Molly Ivins, which premiered at Sundance this year and is already playing in Texas and New York, and it's opening this weekend in Los Angeles and elsewhere.
I wish Molly Ivins were around right now.
Oh, God, yes.
Would she not have so much fun tearing into Texans and Trump?
Yeah, Greg
amazing.
Abbott in the governor's office in Texas. Like the material never goes away for her.
Right. So this is basically a look back at her life and her writing and how influential she was, and just what a larger than life figure she was in a multitude of levels. I mean, she was 6 feet tall and had this big booming personality, but also was just brilliant and incisive beyond her years from a very early age, and went places where she could take chances, at a time in journalism when, women were relegated to like the lifestyle section. She wanted to write about politics. She wanted to write about the tough things, and she crafted this voice, this persona through which she could do that in writing about politics in an insightful way. And it's just about her career and interviews with people who worked with her and loved her and knew her. And
she had the gift of being really smart and incisive about politics, but also being really funny, like a really funny writer. And that's a great combo. And even I think the people that she was dragging were sort of like, at least in some cases, were kind of charmed by it, But yeah, she always had plenty to write about in terms of the kind of chicanery of Texas, and had a front row seat for the ascent of George W. Bush, whom she was one of the first people to really kind of write about in any sort of detail.
Right. She wrote the book Shrub.
Yes. She coined that phrase. And so the movie, it's a fairly standard kind of talking heads doc, but the talking heads are really good. You've got people like Cecile Richards and Rachel Maddow, and people that she worked with, at various publications in Texas, including the Dallas Times-Herald, where I once toiled.
Was she there when you were there?
She was, but she was in the Austin bureau.
Okay.
But I did send her an inter-office fan letter once.
Oh, okay.
She did not respond.
Oh, she's busy. She's a busy lady.
She's a busy lady. Yeah. But just like the footage of her, like the old like C-SPAN footage and other things of her that I had never seen before, are just, she's so energetic and charismatic and dynamic, and really like, I find the expression "speak truth to power" often is nonsense, but that's literally what she did, and again just did it so in a way that was really kind of was funny, and that really makes the medicine go down in a lot of ways.
But there was such a great kind of like understated, wry, deadpan nature to her delivery.
Yes.
That made the zingers kind of sneak up on you. Like you expect them from her because it's what she did so well. But still when they come, there's such like deliberate pacing to her one-liners.
She's kind of like saying them out of the side of her mouth practically. It's not like a whoa.
No, she was so funny. And so you can see why she and Ann Richards were such good friends.
Totally.
That makes so much sense. But I mean, both like strong, smart, tall, no bullshit women, and both women who had problems with alcohol. And this is one thing that they explore really interestingly here is how much of it was fuel and how much of it was destructive to her. Most of the photographs you see of her, most of the footage you see of her hanging out with her friends, like she's got a beer in one hand and a cigarette in the other, and they're all just sitting around shooting the shit, and that seems to place her in the company of a lot of great American writers for whom alcohol was the inspiration, and she seemed to come from that era, which was like, a couple generations prior to her, but she seemed to be part of that feeling of like a big life, a big brash life, and indulging in everything and having no apologies, and drinking was a huge part of that persona for her, and till it became a problem. But even when it became a problem, she didn't really stop. No. She kind of kept going, even, I don't know if she had to stop smoking and drinking when she got sick, because she had cancer several times before she finally died.
Right.
Maybe she had to she was at that point forced to make significant lifestyle changes, but it's an interesting idea that, you know, the drinking was a part of who she was, but could she have been the writer that she was without it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
True. No, yeah, that is a lot of artists' lives you look at, and it's kind of tricky that way. But, you know, she had a real sense of, you know, kind of championing the underdog and the people that were being done wrong by politicians. And, you know, I think a lot of her stuff, in hearing her talk now, it reminds you that, like, so much of the best political writing is very much of its moment and is very much of a specific context, but at the same time transcends its own time and place and becomes a sort of universal discussion about how humanity treats each other and how we govern ourselves and what we expect from our elected officials and that kind of thing. And so even though, you know, this is all stuff that she wrote in the, you know, 70s, 80s, 90s, you know, it's still super relevant.
Right. And I appreciate that a lot of the people that she wrote about, a lot of politicians, even if she was critical of them, they had to admit that she was right. You know, if she called them out on their bullshit or on a bad decision, like, they had to admit, partly because it goes down with the humor, right? They had to admit that, like, she's right, and in a way that I don't know a lot of people are willing to respond today to criticism.
True, yeah. I mean, I can only imagine what, like, you know, Ted Cruz or even Beto would have to say about, you know, like, what she might have to say about them. You know?
Right, and I'm sure, like, if she were around, she would be a major target of Trump's Twitter ire.
Oh, no question.
Right.
Yeah, because, you know, like, God forbid a woman be smart and have an opinion and, you know, like, call him out on his bullshit.
And almost as tall as him.
That too.
That probably would bother him too.
Totally.
So yes, if you don't know anything at all about Molly Ivins, this is a really as Alonso
it's a great
says,
primer.
It is. It's as you say, like, it's kind of a basic talking head documentary, but there's so much great footage, and she was just hilarious and a great inspiration. So go check it out. It's called Raise Hell, and so it's probably streaming at some point.
I would, if not now, then soon. Yeah, Magnolia is taking it out. So their stuff usually, I think, gets there pretty quickly. But again, it's been open for a couple of weeks in various cities in Texas. It opened in New York on the 6th, and it opens on the 13th in Los Angeles. So yeah, do check it out.
Janice Engel directed it. We should mention Janice Engel directed and co-wrote it. So
nice. So I give this an 8.5.
I'm saying 8.2.
Okay.
So our number is an 8.4. It is at 97% on the tomato meter.
Nice. Check it out. Thanks for watching. Like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, visit us at BeFastAllDay on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and go check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/BeFastAllDay, where we share movie news, talk about trailers, and do lots of other cool stuff that is exclusive to our members. We appreciate it if you're already one, and we hope you'll think about becoming one if you're not.
Please do. And on Monday, if you're looking around for my a la carte, this week it's with Bobby McRae, who is with... She's an actress. She's a longtime figure skater. She's a figure skating coach and a hockey coach. And she does, because she has this incredible skill set of, like, skating and, like, motorcycle riding and stunt work. And so she does all kinds of interesting, she's like in her mid 50s and does all kinds of, like, interesting acting. And so she's a really cool lady and a friend of mine. So Monday.
That is a Renaissance woman.
She is.
Awesome. Well, listen, thanks you guys. We always appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.